schema has always set out to do.
Yeah.
She probably, in many respects, has been done at a fairly token level in not all schools, but the majority.
Yeah, excellent point. Yeah. Okay, so just in terms of question number one there, I mean, how you're describing engagement with the priority or Asia literacy more generally in schools that you're connecting with? What's our general feel?
Our general thought here for most of us, it's schools coming to, there's a lot of place teachers here, the schools coming to them, rather than them being able to get an overview of the school. So that's a bit hard to answer.
Yeah, okay. Would that reflect other conversations?
We're probably very particular region, and schools do engage. But again, as Joe said, it's probably, and I won't use the 5 Fs.
The well-known 5 Fs.
It's not a deep, it's not a deep cultural understanding of different cultures. So they try and address that multicultural aspect and address the Asian perspectives, and a lot of them have got children of Asian backgrounds and different cultural backgrounds in their schools. So they pay attention to it, but not in a deep. I don't think they're changing the ways of thinking for a lot of their students.
Okay, because I don't think it's necessarily about knowledge acquisition. I think it's around pedagogy and the ways that curriculum is sort of perceived and constructed. I think that's my sense from my experience, that's probably the greatest area of need, because you can gain those other elements from elsewhere, but it's how this is normalised in curriculum development.
Earlier this year I went to a school. I was asked to go there and talk to them about Australian curriculum history. And so I was showing them what was similar and different in secondary, and obviously, around, both year 7 and year 8 you have, it mentions that you could do Canary Pie, you could do this, that and the other. And one of the teachers said, I'd love to teach Canary Pie because I've been to Hawaii and I visited all this. She said, but where are the resources? And I said, well, you could see yourself as a resource. It's a good starting point, but it's exactly that point that, sure, you don't know all about every country of Asia and all their history and culture and everything else, but at your fingertips, there are great places to go and get resources, plus yourself, other people and all that. So it's just making that shift that says, I don't have to have someone, what that's code for, where's the textbook, we'll put chapter on it, the side.
One of the things I work in science and for all the time, not so much now as you used to try and get people to make connections with other parts of the curriculum of science, the science forum, etc. And now in science, getting these perspectives up, I mean, to me, I can't understand why anyone ever do natural disaster talk about Asia, from the knowledge point of view right through to the human endeavour and the cooperation that goes on. But I think one of the biggest things in PD is that people don't open their minds to see the links. That, that a lot of our teachers are still in silos and they can't make those cross connections, and that's what, our prime aim. Well, an important thing that we need to do is to make the links across, to make the interconnection.
Yeah, and I think that's the beautiful thing about the cross-curriculum priorities. I mean, what ACARA has constructed is, and you can look at it in this way, I think it's very effective, that the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander is priorities around the local. It's very much about Australia. Asia and Australia's engagement with Asia is about the region. Sustainability is about the globe. So I think that's a very neat encapsulation of what the priorities are attempting to do.
One of the things I sort of noticed is you take Gabby as an example of a highly engaged principal with a personal journey and a real commitment to this type of work. And even, I mean, she was here to talk about the work in the area of Asian Australia's engagement with Asia. To pick up the sustainability, pick up all of that sort of stuff, because there's an actual, overarching vision around contemporary learning, and these are seen as being crucial. And one of the things that I'll take with me from her presentation is this idea that
nothing's too hard. And that's an attitude that she brings to her as a leader in a school community. But then I know, given some of the responsibilities the learning and teaching team has around, assessment and reporting, for example, that some of the frames of reference from school leaders are what do I need to report against for OSPELs in 2013. So therefore, what am I accountable in a more, hammer way? What am I judged if I don't do? So therefore, the cross-curricular priorities will go along and we'll get there as we get there, because the most important things are phase 1 subjects, phase 2 subjects coming along, all that sort of stuff. So in a sense, there's a leadership challenge across the system, probably across Australia. I don't doubt that. But the other thing is, from a systemic point of view, what you notice from the people in the room is that everybody's actually here have got primary responsibilities elsewhere, if you know what I mean. So we've got people here from science, we've got people here from regional offices, where a lot of their work really is around school improvement, framework and review, and all sorts of, and change too, etc. And so we've brought together a group of people that, in a sense, have a commitment and interest and recognise a need, but will always be struggling in a way to balance out other demands on them. And from a system point of view, we have to grapple with what, if we want to do with the entitlement that's there, what does that mean for our work and our priorities? It's a tough one.
Oh, look, definitely. And I think 2 points to make on that. As we speak, there's negotiations occurring between the federal government and all state and territory education systems, governments, around school funding. Now, the other element that was in the white paper was a very direct link between the delivery of the entitlement, study across all learning areas. It will be built into the government's plan. Australian government's plan is to build that into the funding agreements with states and territories. Now, that means that for the very first time, this area, Asia literacy, will sit alongside as literacy, numeracy and other things as accountable things that need to be reported on. That's never been the case before. So that is, as I said earlier on, we're in a new sort of paradigm of what we're being asked to do here. And that's crucially important for the reasons you mentioned around accountability and, okay, we're going to focus on literacy and numeracy because of these reasons. Well, now it's plus. Now let's see how those negotiations unfold, but that's certainly what's being aspired to at the moment. And I think that your point about your role, you can take the change ground up approach, and that is, from schools coming to the light bulb moments that Gab has outlined, but it also needs prompting, and you have a direct line into schools through professional learning and through support to schools, and it's mindfulness of providing those prompts. Not necessarily that you're going to be able to provide all the answers or have capacity to do that, but point people to those places and those resources where they can take things to the next level. And there's no shortage of those contact points that schools can access into. So I think the answer to the last question really, we might have asked that as a question in the past, but I think it's now almost a redundant question, because the inhibitors are really, there's only one inhibitor at the moment, and that's will. Because the policy context is there, the support is there, and the broader context of Australia's engagement, it's all there, painful.